just got started. It's the series we've all been waiting for, the finals. Best of 5. And in the top right. Oh, yeah, let's do top right. Right now, let's mix it up. Our red pros player from Storm Gaming is MaxPax. And the bottom left, our blue Terran is HeroMarine as we kick off into game number 1 of a best of 5 grand final here today. Apparently, some people, it's too late. The viewers are dropping as we get late into the night. But I appreciate all you passionate peeps who are still with me. Ready for our final best of 5 of the day. Like I say, a big long day of Starcraft 2 as that probe comes in and nibbles up an SCV. I hope this is a decent final. I'd like to... I mean, we'll definitely pass the 11-hour mark on this stream. Maybe 11 and a half is a bit too much to ask for, though. Maybe just a little bit. Anyways, we do have probe chased down by SCVs here as we get this one up and rolling. The action really does begin. HeroMarine and MaxPax. A series which I think is typically tough for MaxPax because I feel like HeroMarine is just one of those players who is all around pretty solid, doesn't do things which leave him vulnerable to how MaxPax likes to play kind of thing, you know. The last time they actually played last week in the ESL Open Cup NA final, which MaxPax won 3-2. But before that, it kind of backs up the point that I usually make, or that I was making there. HeroMarine 2-0, HeroMarine 3-0, HeroMarine 3-2, 2-0, 2-1, MaxPax 2-0, HeroMarine 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. And then MaxPax 2-1, and then the first time they ever met was last year, actually, HeroMarine 2-0 there as well. It's a dominating record from HeroMarine, and while their most recent coming together has gone in the favor of MaxPax, there's something about the fact that this is the big game weekly on the European server I think comes into play here a little bit as well, right? I think that has, got to be something we consider when you've got MaxPax and HeroMarine playing here, because HeroMarine has been here and won this a few times before, 30 plus times before, right? Meanwhile, MaxPax has not won the European Cup before, so I think for that, I'm going to favor HeroMarine in this, but excited for hopefully a strong back and forth series. Obviously, all starting up on 2,000 atmospheres with some Zealot Stalker pressure that HeroMarine is trying to micro against, puts a new SCV on that bunker. I'm going to get rid of a Marine there, and the SCVs get away. The Zealot goes down too. And that will be it for the moment. One Reaper pops out and is going to go and hunt down that Stalker, trying to do some more damage to it, but unlikely to really get all that much done from there on out, right? So, yeah, as we now see our Adept going to be coming forward and making a little bit of a play. It's trying to be annoying. I mean, basically all this time, HeroMarine is on the defense, as we now see a Stalker recalling home. I wonder why the recall. Is he afraid of something across the map? Maybe that Reaper that he notices is missing? That's 3 SCVs killed. Cannot complain about the amount of damage that you found out of this overall. I think you got to be pretty happy here if you're Mr. MaxPax. It's definitely been a strong start. You put the pressure on. You brought the fight. Obviously, HeroMarine's been waiting a while to play as well. Just to quickly mention, HeroMarine was finished his series while MaxPax and Cure was still in Game 1, so he's a little bit of a while to kind of warm up or settle down however he likes it. MaxPax has to come straight out of that round of 4 matchup and come into play. And some people will say that leaves them warmed up. Some people would say they'd rather have the break. But I always do think it's one of HeroMarine's specials that he kind of gets through his bracket in this Open Cup very quickly and very smoothly. Although that was a big 3-2 series against Lambo, that wasn't an easy semi-final, just the other side of the bracket took even longer today. I always feel like HeroMarine plays his best finals when he comes out of that kind of break into facing off against an opponent who had just a little bit of a tougher time getting to this grand final matchup. Hey, Kikai, thank you so much for the 26-month resub. As you have Stalkers warping in. Time for the pressure. 4 gates of blink time. As we get this ready to roll, we are just going to be seeing a few Stalkers pushing through. We get turned around. That prism is moving on out of there as well. It's just going to back that up and go towards the main base instead. So that's next point of order as we get ready for this aggression to break on through, blink these Stalkers through. I'm going to start jumping on these SCVs. Doing pretty well there, actually. Just for a few Stalkers, a few SCV kills without losing too much. That's kind of been the plan of the day so far, the plan of the game. From MaxPax, kill some workers, don't lose much in the process. It is a very late third base, though, all things considered. You know, as far as third bases go in this matchup, that one has got to be said to be a little bit later than initially expected, as our prism will be settling down just out the front. Just watching for units moving out, just keeping an eye on what's happening next. We move up to charge, we move up to Robo Bay, and that's how MaxPax will try and approach the mid-game here. One of the things that HeroMarine loves to do is to push with tanks in this matchup, and he's got a lot of them. A Raven as well, so that kind of one big push that can really put just a dent in any Protoss player's game plan. HeroMarine is so good at executing those, but I don't know how well that works against a Protoss who took their third base a little bit later, who's been a bit more, unit-focused throughout the game, and especially against a Protoss who had such a successful early game, killing so many workers for so cheap. Just don't know if HeroMarine's typical kind of, punch through is going to be all that successful. Raven and the Viking will just be joining up on the natural ramp. Tank to unsiege and to make a move forward. And here come the rest of the tanks, obviously trying to get in a position to do something once that upgrade of stim, etc. all lines up. So that would be the major goal here as we move forward just that little bit initially. Pushing in, and Bioforce putting some damage onto Stalkers. The Stalkers are going to get turned around. Well, I'm just going to secure the third base for the moment. Gives MaxPax a happy moment or two where he can keep on building Colossus. And he's not going to delay going into that Dark Shrine either, so he wants to get that Dark Shrine up and that DT harassment available to him as soon as possible here. He is not messing around in that regard. I think my bio unit's going to load back over in this direction, so went to try and drop around, decided against it, just drops everything back to the third base, and everything will regather, ready for some more action. Missed him through, and those few Stalkers get chased away. There's that Prism, loading up a handful of Zealots. Dark Shrine gonna be done soon, +2 attack coming in, Concussive Shells building. Marines and Marauders and Medevacs all pouring out at the moment as our Bioforce moves to the right-hand side. Gonna kill out a Stalker on the Watchtower, obviously not bringing the tanks with this. The tanks just sit back and defend. We do have the Prism aiming for the main. We'll be hit by a turret a couple times to begin. Well, this is where HeroMarine needs to defend while also maybe keeping his army on the map active. And we'll lose one tank in the main. He's got plenty to deal with these Zealots, though. He's not struggling for numbers. And the Viking just straight up shoots down the Prism, so that's dead. The Ghost, he doesn't get there in time to lift it up. You can see the intentions, but started the movement too late. MaxPax just lost a ton of Zealots. A War Prism that just goes down that is a tough replace as well. That wasn't an easy start for sure. As our army of MaxPax is back up towards the top. Bioforce coming through. Back to the bottom right-hand side. We are going to kill off a Stalker. Stalker being killed now. Everything else around that far right side. Additional Stalkers warping in. We ready ourselves for multi-pronged HeroMarine, perhaps. Because he is really on the right and the left. Nothing back at home to worry about. Gets hard shut down on this right side. He dropped all the turrets because he's going to lose the Raven. And he dropped an anti-armor missile, which might actually help. As on the left side, Zealot DT runs at him. He's also going to take this attack from the right side toward the main. Not there yet, though. And the Stalkers are going to get to the high ground. Looks like he won't commit, and he'll just come back and kill this pylon. HeroMarine not in a rush to do anything right away. Happy to just play this a little bit slowly, if that's what's required of him. Streams and hand shockwaves coming through, and more ghosts on the way as well. It's going to be an interesting game, because I feel like these are the kind of games you're probably going to end up playing against Showtime tomorrow in the DreamHack European playoffs. HeroMarine plays the playoffs of that tomorrow against Showtime, best of 5, third matchup of the day, if I'm not mistaken. Make sure you tune in for that. I'm sure it'll be great. I mean, all the matches are looking great. Sarah, Reynold Vanya, Cyril, MaxPax, HeroMarine, Showtime, and Clem Marine Lord. But, yeah, I mean, this is going to be cool because these are the kind of games I expect HeroMarine to get into versus Showtime. You know, these armies which are very powerful. You can get into a lot of Ghosts, Vikings, you know, later game Protoss armies too. I'd be shocked if a HeroMarine Showtime series didn't feature a couple of these. As we move on forward already, an SCV going down, a decent EMP landing on some Stalkers as well. Needing to push through that bunker in some serious trouble. 10 workers going down the 6 o'clock base. HeroMarine's going to start pushing forward. One of the issues Protoss players usually get here is that once they start taking a losing fight, it's very difficult to run, especially when there's no disruptors on the army. But the question is this a losing fight? At the tail end of it, maybe. These two Colossi, yeah, that's what I mean. You just can't run. Yeah, it was close. He almost had enough to stop the chase and to keep the Colossus alive, but with the Colossus going down, it's a win for HeroMarine no matter what way you phrase it and frame it. That is going to be a planetary bottom style, which is defended as well, so a few SCV losses, but a big army lead that HeroMarine gets coming out of this. Jeez. It really is a pretty big deal, I'd say, as HeroMarine is going to waltz into an advantageous position for this first map. Army and Ghosts joining up. All those Ghosts coming through, and again, just going to be seeing 3 Colossi pumping out at a time. Well, the rebuild is actually pretty quick because you've got triple Robo, so that's actually kind of nice for MaxPax. I wonder if that can save him a little bit here. I wonder if that can make like a serious difference. Probably. I like it, I like it. As we come on through, I'm going to see the Bioforce back away around the left-hand side now. A couple of Disruptors coming through. Those Liberators are on the way out. The Lib's definitely a game changer. They really changed the way in which you can engage as MaxPax. They're not going to let him just be as free anymore. You got to really think about the positioning and how you're going to attack around them or attack into them, etc. Those are things you got to be pretty aware of here. So let's Stalker Colossus going to launch into this set of rocks. Just opening up the map a little bit. Doesn't seem to care about those. Makes sense. He wants to be able to kind of dive forward on an army and move around a bit more. I mean, HeroMarine probably likes that too. I think they're both playing armies which are kind of okay with it at this stage. But the Disruptors coming out too, especially, you can obviously really dictate a little bit about where the Terran moves to, so you're a bit freer to move onto the map and say, oh, you're moving this way, boom, and Disruptor shot in your face kind of thing. Oh, EMP goes down on the Zealots. The Stalker's taking a bit of damage as well. Colossi lasers take away a few Marauders. It's just going to be seeing 5 more DTs. Warping in. Here we go. Big fight. Good EMPs are going to dissuade MaxPax from continuing, although maybe not. Oh! That Disruptor stopped. If that Disruptor kept going, he might have had, like, I don't want to say every Ghost, but he was on his way to having a lot of the Ghosts. And here, Rangers seem to win this trade out. MaxPax disengaging without feeling too good about it, I'd imagine. That's going to be seeing our Disruptors and Colossi joining up, going to make a push round towards this watchtower. Like this, just going to dive in. That's going to be a couple of robos unpowered. I wonder if he could have killed them. Now he's got a problem, though, because now he's going to get chased down by Disruptors. He's going to find his way out to the right. The Vikings will get the Colossi. Get land those Vikings. These are Disruptors and Stalkers here. Mechanical units that take bonus damage from the Vikings. So I don't hate the land. What isn't so pretty is obviously the Zealots coming in from the other side. These Stalkers coming through. Not enough to chase the Medivac. So HeroMarine is able to justify flying out of here, which is obviously exactly what he does. He's going to turn around and drop a liberated position as HeroMarine EMPing. He's going to split against the Disruptors. He does dive forward onto the rest of them as well. Disruptor shot still connecting. So many ghosts going down. It's a complete slaughter. This entire fight as DT show up, and they're going to make a slaughterhouse of this third base as well. SCVs are just dropping dead. 13 workers killed. We jump onto a sense tower and move on to depots. I mean, the third base is wiped out. So that's a big win for MaxPax. Serious damage done to the economy of HeroMarine. That is big. That's really big as Liberator production has resumed. +2 armor coming in on that forge. DT's moving around, just gonna blink back a little bit. Results being picked away. I'm just gonna be seeing that army still escaping away. He's got chased away once again, but HeroMarine's definitely on the defensive footing at this point. I really feel like he lost a lot of his ghosts, and I feel like rebuilding those is a bit of an expense. I mean, obviously the tech from MaxPax is being falling left, right, and center as well. Resources lost slightly favor HeroMarine, who sits on 4 bases through this bottom side of the map. All orbitals, bar this one in the middle, are planetary. MaxPax has so many more bases available to him. That obviously with 80 workers feels pretty good. So many DTs poised to strike. If they run through here, they're running through a turret, and they're running into Liberators, so it's a dangerous game they're playing. It's a lot of your supply in the game as MaxPax that's over there, so if you don't do anything with it, then you're obviously not in a great spot. That Disruptor shot just turned back around onto the other Disruptors. He's like, no, I don't want to fire. If we hit ourselves, we can't hurt anybody, right? That is seemingly the plan is... Ooh, and Zealot takes a hit. Left side Stalkers just doing what they can, trying to find an opening here, an opening there, trying to get some kills. They do alright, but they are in the end going to get chased away. Stalkers getting pushed back alongside these DTs. DTs are going to turn and fight. No scan. I mean, everything but one Marine went down, so good time to turn around and blink on top of that. MaxPax has a lot of money in the bank that HeroMarine doesn't, and MaxPax, I really think, is winning out this later game setup as we go pushing in. Stalkers, Disruptors, Immortals. Run through, a couple Disruptor shots fire. Missile turret gets shot down. DT's coming from the other side, but they get EMP'd big, and I don't know if I like this anymore. They blink on top of the ghost, but they don't die. Oh no! MaxPax has picked a horrible fight. I saw the DTs running from the left. I was like, well, I just don't really believe in what those DTs are aiming for here. Oh, that was interesting. Mass snipes, but then they move into Archons, but then they get mass EMP'd. Man, that was just not the fight for MaxPax in the slightest. He just gave up so many DTs. Again, they just, because they're already EMP'd, they die too quickly when they jump on the ghosts. That's obviously a little bit disastrous. Going to be gathering back up here as we pick off a cannon. MaxPax does not have much to work with, and MaxPax had all the bases to work with as well, right? Like he didn't need to force the fight. I feel like HeroMarine is absolutely in charge of this one now, guys, and MaxPax is going to be struggling. Looks like HeroMarine will start up 1-0. MaxPax with a lot of potential, though, and a longer game, too. I think that's really cool to see. gets my expectations up for the series. I mean, it's a brilliant first game to set the pacing of this series for sure. If nothing else, it's been a great example of what could be to come. As Disruptor shot fires in, Disruptors do get some shots off that do begin to land. We're sieging up, moving forward. And again, these libs can just slowly unsiege, re-siege, and there's just no proper defense to them. There's no Tempest, there's Stalkers that will try and flank, but maybe we try and base trade. I don't even hate that idea, because actually HeroMarine has less bases than MaxPax, so in a base trade he's at an initial disadvantage simply for the fact that he doesn't have as much real estate to trade out. Problem is, the damage output of the army of MaxPax just isn't very high, so killing these buildings off is going to take a long time as well. And working through all those SCVs as HeroMarine is actually just going to go across the map. Like I say, MaxPax has kind of expanded everywhere, and that's why it was such a shame that one fight went so badly wrong for him, because the rest of the game, the income lead was there, and obviously would have continued had he not lost the bases after losing that fight so horribly. Obviously comes back up again now. You might have just seen that spike at the end. Does come up again now as he starts to deny bases, but it's about to drop off again because, well, this is happening over on this side, and he's just going to have a recall. Here he might have been able to dive that. It's a lot of Disruptors, yes, but it was also mostly Disruptors, and he'll get two of them here. Disruptor shot not going to go far enough. HeroMarine going to eat this Disruptor shot. Nope, kills that one too. Well, HeroMarine is going to be on top of this base, killing this off. Zald's going in from the other side. The DTs come down. Masses of EMPs. Kind of hitting a lot of the medevacs in the process, funnily enough. But you can just see the bio units are not going to die to that attempt from MaxPax. And HeroMarine is going to win a bit of a back-and-forth game one. Kind of like where HeroMarine was at for a lot of the game. There was some disruptive shots that made it feel like MaxPax was in control for a while. Top left. Up 1-0 in the best of 5 will be our blue Terran player. It is HeroMarine. Cool first game. I felt like he was on the losing end of it, but that one big fight, turning everything around. Bottom right, MaxPax will be hitting himself for picking that fight, because that was obviously just not the fight. Not the fight at all. Oh my god, just disappointed. Dude, you ain't gonna have no money left if you keep throwing money at me like this. Dropping the $50 donation. Dude, thank you so much. When is the MaxPax Cup? Because Big Gabe is getting... Oh my god, I can't read. Big Gabe Cup is getting predictable. Bible thump. To be fair, we had the Clem Cup for a while. But it does seem to be returning to the Big Gabe Weekly at the moment. Of course, Clem didn't play this week. He played last week and kind of got shut down in the finals 3-0. Thank you so much for the $50 donation. Get some love in the chat for just disappointed everyone. He has been dropping subs and now donations all day long. Like a madman. Thank you so very much for the game being overly generous. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. An engineering bay block as MaxPax has double probe to take the HP of this down pretty quickly. I think he's just gonna... I mean, he doesn't have a Zealot on the way, so he's just gonna pull more probes, but he should be able to take it down, but obviously that is a lot of probes. Not mining initially, as HeroMarine will just expand high ground back at home. Well, Romanticide's the map where we're probably expecting the longest game of this series if we get one longer than the last. Obviously starting on the bigger maps, and we'll work our way to smaller maps, it seems, is the way that these two have ended up vetoing. So yeah, we'll see if on smaller maps and later in the series that's something that maybe MaxPax enjoys a little bit more. It's definitely some possibilities around that. See that one adept gonna go for a little shade forward, doesn't get very far though. That's just gonna be seeing our factory about to finish up. A command center coming through. Those few Marines are gonna chase the Adept out down to the low ground. It's just gonna be able to get this one out of here. Plenty of Marines on the way as this was a reactor-focused opening. Plenty of Marines. 5 already out and 2 more on the way right now. Again, by all accounts, that's going to be finishing fairly soon as that Adept does go down. So that's a dead Adept right away there. Yeah, there's that Twilight finishing up as well. So just going to be seeing MaxPax's initial Blink opening getting underway. He does go Robo before Blink. And that is very telling of the... That's very telling of the idea of going for a Blink 4 gates. If you go Robo... Or Dark Shrine. Yeah, and there's Dark Shrine. I was getting a bit hung up on Blink 4 gate, but Dark Shrine as well. Basically, it means you're being aggressive and you're not rushing out to the 3rd base at 4 minutes. It means you're looking to really ramp up the pressure, and obviously the Dark Shrine will, of course, do that. That's what we are setting up for at the moment, as we do see our Adept just going to move through. And those few Marines... Gonna sit nearby. Just gonna see our medevac coming in. Gonna lift up a few units as well. Just when a Adept gets... Oh, it was surrounded, but it got out. Big push from HeroMarine because he has so many Marines in the game. If these DTs... I mean, he might just be able to break through anyway. I was gonna see if these DTs don't do much, but, like, I mean, DTs will have to be used defensively right now, and you're even just warping in Stalkers to survive. Scan count. 1, 2... Well on the way to a 3rd. Oh, I actually really do worry a little bit here, although maybe HeroMarine doesn't like what he's seeing as he's going to start moving out. I think he might have glimpsed the Prism. I think he has. He's trying to catch it, but it's long gone in comparison to that Cyclone. The Widowmine did kill an initial Stalker, by the way. Didn't blink back, and I wonder if that's a sign that HeroMarine says, right, this isn't Blink, this is maybe DTs instead. Those 2 DTs to the top side, just going to warp in. One starts moving forward, the other in the Prism is going to make a dive for the main base. That DT comes through. It's going to get into the natural expansion. Turret not ready just yet. Turret not ready in the main just yet. What can we do here? Of course, scans actually not available now. We're going to recall the Prism. It's dead, though. Cyclone doesn't care if it goes down, right? The Cyclone's like, this was my destiny. I was designed to kill the Prism, and that's what I will do. Oh, but this turret didn't... Oh, no, that turret didn't go up. So he has to rebuild this turret. And the DT in the main just survived off to the corner, so... All workers go down. You lost a Cyclone, a few Marines, but you did kill the Prism. And 1 DT is dead at the cost of a scan as well. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's alright on either side, right? I think both players look at this and say this is okay. What ain't okay is this Liberator just flying across and getting 5 kills. Now this drop coming back in, and it's going to get a few probes as well. So this is where MaxPax will run into some trouble. Still not mining from the main base, just now getting that mining back. And that is what is substantial at this point. 9 workers going down. That is actually really big damage. And that's just going to put MaxPax back into... I mean, it just undoes everything the DTs did, right? And we see it so often, like, the DTs are doing well, and they're doing good damage, and then boom. You just can't defend back at home, and everything you did properly has just fallen completely apart. And it's just... I mean, it's very unfortunate, but it's kind of the way that the game works. You gotta be able to defend as well as attack. Is going to eat the Widowmine shot, gets saved by the Prism. And there's, another Prism death, and that is dead, right? Yep. Now the Zarkon's kind of abandoned, so once the Cyclone can lock on again, in theory, Cyclone should just be able to lock on. Why is the Cyclone not locking on? I guess it doesn't matter. Medivac survived. Good micro from HeroMarine as he wins that fight. Very well handled. It's just going to be seeing our E-Stalkers around the bottom side. Just disappointed. Dropping another $50 saying love for Wardy in chat. Did you not... I'm pretty sure if you're meant to be my hype man, I'm meant to pay you, you know? It's like you're my hype man, but you're also paying me. Dude, thank you so much. Mention it again after this game, because this attack's about to start. These stalkers don't think they're gonna have too much luck here, and they do blink back somewhat unexcitingly, in fact. I mean, not really anything coming of that right at the very end of this. Prism. Sorry, Medevac just loaded up back on the Terran side. HeroMarine gonna bring this around the top side, and we'll keep a close eye on that and see if anything comes of it over the next little while. A few stalkers making their way through the center here, and they are gonna get across to a well, a pretty beefy Terran army. Bio tank gonna meet a couple stalkers right away, no problem at all. Biomi just kind of sat here as our few zealots. Start taking some hits. We can see stalkers trying to come from the other side. It's weird because you're trying to obviously protect that Raven. You don't want to let that go down because DTs can do a lot. Oh, MaxPax, what are you looking at? Drop in the main. That's what you're looking at. So you just lost every single stalker bar one. MaxPax. No, just letting his concentration slip. Double Matrix. Oh, but he's not clear. He wasn't near the Disruptor initially. In the end, doesn't matter. Should have really killed the Colossus, though. Oh, he does kill it because he has a siege tank sieging. HeroMarine is just monster moding this game, too. That was a brutal combination. Dropping the main. MaxPax is like, oh, what? Stalker's dead. MaxPax is like, wait, no. Colossus Matrix. MaxPax is like, oh, I'm so sad right now. GG is called, and HeroMarine goes to a 2-0 lead in this best of 5 final. GG's. Well played. Shout out to him again, as we have got our blue Terran in the bottom right hand side. It is going to be HeroMarine up 2-0. As the ESL Open Cup Europe has passed the 6-hour marker. Will HeroMarine make this the last game of the night for the 3-0? That blue Terran player from Mouse Sports is in the upper left corner of the map. Is going to be our red Protoss player from Storm Gaming. It's MaxPax. MaxPax is, I feel like MaxPax is almost playing a little bit tired. I don't like to make excuses and stuff, right? But, it does just feel a little bit, I don't want to say, it just, like I say, it feels like he's tired, you know? It feels like he's worn out, worn down. Not having concentration as he had earlier, perhaps, because it is the kind of mistakes that he's making, I think, specifically, that are definitely starting to become very apparent. As we get ourselves into our third map. Just being, like, overly distracted by, like, little things and certain movements. And that Liberator earlier also killed, like, 7 probes or so, right? And that's obviously the sort of thing that you just meant to respond, you know, against more quickly if you're someone like MaxPax in this situation, so... I even need a shout out who's gonna make the dings go on for the next half a minute or so. Like, seriously. Oh my god, dude. Ding, 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 ding. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I actually have I'm out of ways to say thank you today. I'm out of ways to express my gratitude. So I'm just gonna do a darn good job at casting this game for you instead. How does that sound? Thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate it. Just disappointed on another 10 gifted subs. He's a madman. Double Reaper on the way up from here, Marine. So Marine Reactor, double Reaper. So a little bit of pressure on with that. You can fight this Adept quite nicely too, actually. There's going to be 3 racks behind it. So triple racks in total. These Reapers, I think, want to avoid the Adept, in fact. And they just want to get across the map and maybe try and get into, pick away at a couple of workers. As you do see, our Reapers making their way up to the top left-hand side, so away they go. I see a grenade to blast the Stalker to the other side. Reaper should pull back now. Left that just a little bit too late, maybe distracted by the fact the Adept was in the main. You can see the idea was very good. Blast the Stalker back, pull the Reaper away. These Reapers did nothing, unfortunately. They were a wasted investment for HeroMarine, but if there's going to be a wasted investment, I wouldn't mind it being the Reapers, because let's face it, it's something which is... I mean, they're affordable to lose, and they're not something which scale very well. It just would have been nice to grab a Stalker, to grab a couple workers with them, or to keep them alive that little while longer. You know? So yeah, Reaper's not much of a success story. It's going to be seen now, a single Stalker poking away at a Marine. Marauder catching the Stalker as well. Uh-oh. Nice catch with the concussive shells. It's kind of interesting to see concussive shells first off this 3 racks. Going to get it going a little bit faster than usual. We'll see if MaxPax is prepared for it. There's a battery on the way, but not ready yet. I'm worried. Blink's gonna be done, but another Stalker going down. Oh, this is really bad. There's gonna be a battery. Obviously, there's no stim, right? So, and there's no third base, so I guess it's not that bad. This Stalker has Blink. It barely gets out of there. I mean, he's already forcing Blink on like all the Stalkers. Okay, another warp in already there, and again with the battery, I guess you just back away. You want to fight away from the battery so you can at least turn these fights into something you can benefit from. Because if you fight next to the battery, it's just wasted damage. You know, it just instantly gets healed. Battery energy just doesn't cost the Protoss anything. He does get a Stalker there. MaxPax missing a Blink away. Again, little things that I think usually MaxPax would be better at. Another one. Just lost in another one. Honestly, I don't even mind this trade for HeroMarine. Overall, kind of even in resources lost. But I actually feel like getting rid of Stalkers is the sort of unit that you just don't like rebuilding as a Protoss player. They're way more expensive than you want them to be, so... yeah, I don't like that all too much. Just gonna see our bunker at the front is... Henry may be feeling like he needs to get a little bit of extra defense up, though. Just gonna have our Prism. Sorry, our bunker being repaired a little bit, as we do have our Stalkers turning back around. MaxPax's follow-up going to be an extended thermal lance for Colossus, and I don't mind that either. I mean, HeroMarine's at a point where he just got Stim, and first medevacs on the way, so he'll probably be waiting for those before you make a major move or anything. I'm gonna move out. Stalker's gonna be in a little bit of trouble. Coming forward still, and those Stalkers are gonna get chased away out to the upper left-hand side. So really getting pushed back. I mean, HeroMarine's gonna come full force into this side of the map, and well, good news is the charge is done, so you've got the Zealots to help out. That Colossus needs to be very careful. Probably needs to sit on that battery. If it takes a step too far forward, HeroMarine's going to latch himself onto it, and it will not last very long, especially because it doesn't have that range upgrade. It's going to come back through. As we do come and fight a little bit. Back down that bottom side. Rest of our units setting up. We do see these SCVs pulling in. These Zealots in a little bit of trouble. Marauder trying to help out a little bit too. SCVs just went down. At the same time, they'll fight across the other side. Stalker trying to get rid of that tank. The Colossi very far forward. Super Battery goes up. He's going to get on top of one. Wow, the cannon was getting healed a little bit. I mean, this is just getting a little bit hectic as we're going to be seeing these medevacs lifting up. Going to dive into the main base here. Try and get something else done. I mean, obviously now the Colossi have to respond to that. HeroMarine is down about 20 workers in this game. 5 racks, 2 base all inning. He is losing a bit of momentum, though. As this gets held off, he is going to be held back a little bit. I see that Stalker just going to be picked up as well. This one kind of on a weird part of the map. I think MaxPax is getting to a very comfortable stage of this game where he does have a 3rd CC to move down, but he will not do so just yet. He's going to do that right now, okay. It's just taking a little while to get there. I was kind of believing that this might have been a bit of an all-in situation coming about. My army chilling on the bottom right. We do see these few Stalkers coming around as well. And obviously now MaxPax being the aggressor. HeroMarine just going to sit back on his 3 bases. I actually really did miss the 3rd base, by the way. Originally, I really thought this was just 2 bases and a dream. So apologies for that. I think I called it a 2 base all in, where obviously the 3rd is here. So a little bit of a correction on that one. To move on up. Let's see how Disruptor about to come through. +2 attack. Going to be finished soon as well. Those other few Zealots continuing around the left-hand side. We do have bio units, medevacs. Going around into the center. Moving forward a little bit on the top side here. A couple of units are going to move on through. Dodging disruptor shots on the left. There's also Zealots hitting a bunker here, but that bunker is living with the repair at the moment. And the SCV is obviously keeping it alive. That's nice. We do blink forward. We're going to get rid of a Viking. Stalker's on a good blink, and that is a safe and alive bunker. Push forward again over here. A few more DTs have just walked in. The Zealots are going to go charging forward for this. Disruptor shot fires. Marauder gets clipped. And that's going to hurt a little bit as well. On the right top side of the map, where Bio is still pushing through. Cannon in trouble. And he's Nexus in trouble as well. The Zealot's still taking some shots. We're going to come back around through the center here. This base is genuinely going to go down. Right? I mean, there's no saving that. Disruptor shot's going to fly everywhere as the units from the bottom side collapse in. Whoa, the balls to target that Disruptor instead of backing away. This one he has to dodge from it. It doesn't go well, but he's killed 2 Colossi in the process. And it feels like HeroMarine is only getting into a better and better position. 109 to 73 supply in terms of army. HeroMarine, again, it's got tanks as well, right? So you can really zone the Colossi, zone the Disruptors. On the way to DT Blink, if that could make a difference in this game. Obviously being knocked down to even base here. Doesn't really feel like where you want to be right now as MaxPax is. HeroMarine is just closing in via this high ground. Zealots and DTs, you need to save the day. You need to stop these tanks. Vikings are going to get the Colossus. Land those Vikings now. Try and tank with them, I'd imagine, is going to be the goal, unless you think there's new Colossi on the way out. The Zealots are getting down the ramp. There's a couple tanks still left. Now just one. Oh no, that Disruptors obviously went too far forward as well. And HeroMarine is going to make this final a 3-0, it looks like. He's going to... Yep, there it is. He's not going to let it go the distance. He is going to make sure this is quick and easy, making up for the rest of the